Hi, fellow traders. Well, the third quarter is in the books, and we are ready to nail this fourth quarter. We will own this fourth quarter. It doesn't matter whether we made our goals or not for the first three quarters. It doesn't matter if we're not where we visioned ourselves would be right now. None of that matters. All that matters now is finishing these 3 months strong, developing the skills that we didn't develop or that we should have developed, and building a template that we could take from this quarter to the next quarter to the next quarter. All right, you guys, you could do one or two things. You can quit and say, hey, I'll just rest and probably start next year or the first of the year or sometime next year. This is worse than a New Year's resolution, because if you quit, you're not going to start back. Or if you do start back, it's going to be, so reserved that you're not going to get out your own way. Or you can say, I'm going to get after it like I've never done before, and I'm going to leave it all out there. And I'm not talking about your money. I'm talking about putting the effort. Because somehow people connect losing money with this, and it's not about that. It's about learning the skill, developing the skills that you need to develop. And you don't have to lose money doing it. Yeah, you're going to take losses. Not every trade's going to be a winner. But if you're doing it the right way, if you are following the right process, you can make it happen. It's a decision that you have to make for yourself, because it's not too late to make 2019 your year. I didn't hit my goal for the first three quarters. I'm not where I want to be. I know I'm not going to hit my goal for the end of the year. So what I'm going to do is focus on cleaning up those mistakes that I made and making sure I finish this year strong. Making sure I do everything that I can do to the fullest. Okay, so a couple things you can do to ensure that. Number one, you got to envision what you want to accomplish. You got to have that vision. Write it down. Have it in front of you every day, stuck on your monitors. We should have an accountability monitor, which is a monitor that we can just put sticky notes on to remind us of the things that we need to do and that we need to hold ourselves accountable for. That's where we need to put it. But we got to have a clear vision. We also have to focus on the process that's going to take us to achieve that vision, to make sure that we are where we want to be at the end. Because we always say where your focus is, that's where your energy goes. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. So we want to make sure our energy is put on executing that process every day. I've got a process every day from the time I wake up to the time I come in the market and to how I execute the market. I know exactly what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, how I'm going to do it. And then once we get in the market, I let the market tell me what I need to do. All right, and it's just that simple. So you guys that's been following me for 2014, you've seen me perfect and tweak my process throughout this journey. Those of you that have just met me, or you just found out who I was, you can access my blog through my website, AverageJoeTrader.com. Just click on the blog button, it'll take you there. And you can go back and see what I was doing since 2014 and how my process has developed. And it's all about process. Now, you've got to give that 120% effort to executing that process. Okay? And you have to not be playing to lose. I can't stand that. Okay, if you're giving effort, you don't quit when you're tired, you quit when it's done. You don't quit when when you get tired trying to do something. You quit when it's done. And I tell you, I was watching, I'm a college sports fan. I love college because until, well, now I'm starting not to like college as much because these kids are getting the wrong mindset. But that's another argument. But I was watching the North Carolina and Clemson game, and I watched the North Carolina team play Clemson, the number one team in the country, arguably the most talented in every position. And they played them toe to toe for 3.8 quarters. 3.8 out of the 4 quarters. And, their coach made a couple of decisions. They went for it on 4th down versus punting it, gave Clemson a short field, and they marched right down and scored. Well, North Carolina marched back and they scored. And they could have tied the game with just an extra point. But the coach, went for the 2-point play. And so I'm thinking the whole time, well, he's playing not to lose. This guy's playing to win. He's aggressive. But when I heard him explain why he did those things, and he said he saw his team limping off the field and they looked tired and they looked beat down. And so he figured the best chance he had was to go for it, to roll the dice. And I started thinking he was playing not to lose because he didn't have confidence that his team could win in an overtime session. He didn't have confidence that they would not quit. He didn't have confidence that they would give him 120%. He didn't have confidence that they would not stop. They wouldn't quit when they were tired. That they would just quit when they finished. He didn't have that confidence. And guys, we can relate that to trading because it's like if we have done good, let's say we strung a couple of good trades together. And instead of us, in our mind, we're not wanting to give it back. Now, I got a real good trade here, so I don't want to give any money back. So I'm going to take another trade, but I'm going to keep it tight. So in that instance, you're starting to trade not to lose versus trading to win. And that is detrimental. That will not allow you to be a consistently profitable trader. What it does is it limits how much you can make. And oftentimes you take the trade off before it actually works. So you lose money. So you're going to lose anyway. We cannot trade not to lose. We have to trade to win. We have to trade the chart, not our P&L. If we're trading our P&L, we're trading not to lose. And that is a losing combination. All right, so these are the things that we're going to focus on in the 4th quarter. And I've got a couple of spots left. If you want to really focus this 4th quarter and then get going in the right direction in the 1st quarter, this is 6 months. This special for $249 is 6 months. You have access to all the classes. You have access to the education room, which is the chat room. And I'm going to put more of an emphasis on talking about where the entries are going to be, where the exits are going to be, so that we could determine, hey, does this trade make sense or not? One of the biggest issues that I'm running into that a lot of the traders I'm mentoring have is understanding the risk management in a smaller account. And even with me trading a smaller account, if I'm not as small as they are, they're having trouble connecting the dots. So I wired out a little bit more than I normally wire out today. And I'm going to be trading smaller sizes to try to help you guys really nail down how to manage your risk and grow your account. Because you can strangle your account to where you will not make money because you are trading not to lose versus trading to win. And even with a small account, you have to trade to win. You actually have to be a little bit more aggressive and risk a little bit more in a smaller account than a larger account. That's just the way it is. And then as your account grows, then you could risk less. And I know it doesn't make sense, but if you think about it, if you learn and get comfortable risking more now, as you get bigger, you'll be more comfortable risking more. And you grow and you grow and you grow. Now that's the whole thing. But 6 months, and the main thing is you get an hour mentoring session a month. It's with me, one-on-one. We can use that hour however you want to, but it's done to help you get to that next level, to help you connect the dots, what you're seeing in the community, what you're not understanding about what I'm saying and what I'm sharing. So I know I made the mistake of bringing too much in, just like I was doing too much, trying to do too much with too many accounts. I was bringing other stuff in. I'm not doing that anymore. The focus is going to be on getting you guys consistent, because I was doing in my community what a lot of other people do. They throw out these, I'm sharing these big trades with you, but I don't want you to focus on those. I want you to focus on learning how to trade first. But it's very difficult. You can't do that. If somebody's dangling this in front of you, and if they're dangling some food in front of you and you're starving to death, you're going to jump whatever you need to jump to get there. Or you're going to try to anyway. You're going to risk it. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want to go down that road anymore. So we're going to be focusing on these strategies that I trade every day so that you could be ready to trade some of these more advanced strategies. Because the money is there. The money is there. As long as you develop the skill and you do it the right way, the money is there. All right, so today, we're looking at the SPY here, and we did have a little bounce today, but not a whole lot of volume. We're in the middle of a holiday. It's not a national holiday, but it is well received, is well observed. So you can see we didn't really have a whole lot of volume today. I noticed was the end of the month, end of the quarter, and you have a lot of big guys positioning themselves, and you usually see more volume. Well, we saw that on Friday versus today. Tomorrow looks like it may be a carbon copy of today. Now, I'm still going to do the live stream. We're still going to set up this fourth quarter because we're going to get started on the right foot. But we may have another slow day tomorrow because I think the holiday ends tomorrow evening. So, it started Sunday evening, goes through till tomorrow evening. And Wednesday, we may see things back to normal. But just a really, really slow day today. Not a whole lot happening. I did take a trade on BBBY, and I'm actually going to hold this overnight. I was trying to put my stop in. This was an opening range breakout. I got in here. We got the pullback. It tried and it got slapped. Got the pullback here. I was getting ready to put my stop in. Actually, instead of a sell stop, I put a buy stop like I would if I was short. And ended up adding to my position here. So 1,000 shares on a $10 stock is not a big deal. But it just didn't go anywhere. I mean, I messed up my average, and it just did not go anywhere. It just kind of traded sideways, sideways, sideways. It almost looked like a bear flag here for a minute. But I was looking at the moving averages, just everything was just screaming up here. So I left it on and let it fight. And we tried to fight our way back up, but it just didn't do it. So I'm going to hold on to it, see if we can gap up tomorrow around 12 or so, and I'll kill it then. But there was a level at 1108 that I was looking for first, and then another level at 12. But maybe we'll get a decent move on it. But you can see here on the daily chart, here's the level I was looking for it to get to today. And then, looking for it to jump up to 12 here. Because this kind of held their support, and we held over the 90-day here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Now, NKE, this was a swing trade right off the watch list yesterday. If you didn't see the watch list session, go back and watch it. We streamed it live yesterday morning. You'll see just how we found this stock, what we were looking for. Very simple entry strategy. Very simple way to manage these trades. So it triggered an entry at the open. We got in, and we had a really strong day here. Now, my first target on this will be like 97.50. And I feel that once we get through 97.50, we should get sucked into that 100. 100 is a real solid psychological level. And I've been in this stock for a couple of years. I've got it in my long-term account. I've been waiting on 100. I'm going to sell half of it at 100. That was a plan a couple of years ago when I got in. So long-term, I'll be dumping some, but in this short term, I'm going to be dumping some too. But really nice move on it today. I cannot complain at all. All right, so closing out this month, it's been a really quiet month. 12.40.44, and we got 30.50 in July, 30.74 in August, and then 12.40.44 in September. But October is coming. Earnings are going to be kicking off here before long. So we'll be able to get this thing going. Historically, September is a relatively slow month. It was just amplified by the fact that we had these issues with Suretrader. But it's all in the past. It's time to move forward. And we're going to see if we can close this month out on a good note. That's the plan. So only got $27 last week. NKE, traded NKE on earnings, and that was a bad day I had on it. But had a nice day Friday, and only ended up 27.26 in the green. 12.40.44 for the month. 31.239.78 for up to date. Now, my goal was to have 45 by the end of the third quarter, 60 by the end of the year. I know I'm not going to hit 60. I'm not going to even push the envelope. No need to. Got to stay and trade within myself, trade what the market gives me. That's why I felt this was the best opportunity for me to slow down a little bit and try to catch up to you, get you guys caught up that we kind of left behind early on. So I want to get you guys caught up. The focus is going to be on the process of not only identifying the stocks, vetting them, and then going through my trade plan step by step, so you know when the entry is going to hit, when which everybody should already know now. But when the entry should hit, where the profit targets are, where the stop's going to be. Based on trading with smaller size. And trying to get you guys to connect these dots is very, very important. All right, last but not least, here's an equity curve. But you can see inside these Easter eggs here, these lulls are the weeks leading to earnings. These lulls, again, these are lulls in the market that translated into slowdown and red weeks. Here I had a red week. Here, 1, 2 red weeks. Okay. All of these are leading up into earnings. So we do have this lull. This is normal. This is natural. It's not something to fuss about. We had an incredible opportunity on MU last week that I just completely didn't trade. When was it? Friday. That I missed. I caught the bounce, but the bounce wasn't anything. Wasn't nothing. But missed it. You're going to have these opportunities. We just have to stay more in tune and catch them when we can. But nothing wrong with this. This is consistency. Even though we have pullbacks, overall, we're trending up. This is consistency. This is what you want to look for. When you look at your equity curves, this is what you want to see. You want to see consistent growth. Because when you see this, that means you're adding more money to your account. And I don't care if it's $10. Like last week, I added $20 to my account. But guess what? I didn't take away anything. And through all of that crap I dealt with last week, still up $20. So that's what we got to revel in. Because we got to take the good with the bad. Now, if everything works out right, we're going to see some strong months, strong close to the year. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for me. Everybody, we're all caught up now. It's time to hit fourth quarter running. Don't forget, we got the live stream tomorrow starting at 8:30. And we're going to set this quarter up. We're going to get this thing started. So have a great night, great evening, and I will see you in the morning.